dear students, and very much welcome back from leave. And in today's class, we will be looking at Unit 4 in your textbook. That's about punctuation. But before that, let me welcome you on behalf of the Open University of Sudan. I really appreciate your turnout today, and you seem to be very enthusiastic about learning and about participating. So please try to be energetic and try to put yourself at your disposal. You don't have to worry about anything. It is very easy, and it's going to be as easy as the ABC. Let us have the introduction in the unit, punctuation. First of all, punctuation does not mean the writing part. Punctuation means the speaking part also. A lot of students think that punctuation has to do with writing only. That's not the point. The point is that punctuation has to do with speech also. When you speak, you stop sometimes, you ask a question, you make an exclamation. So all of these movements, they are regarded as punctuation. When you speak, you also make punctuation. Just like the aeroplane. When the aeroplane takes off, it has some ups and downs, just like going on the ground. It is up in the air. So please try to make the similarity between the airplane and the train, which goes on land. And the airplane goes up in the air. So there are ups and downs as the pitch of the voice. Going up, you ask a question. Falling down, you answer the question. Likewise, the punctuation is as the same similarity as this. So punctuation is very important from the viewpoint of making stops. When you speak, you make stops for the listener to understand you. And also, when you write, you make stops to make what you write is clear for everyone to read. So let me ask you this outlandish question. What is writing? Who can answer me for this question? What is writing? We've been talking about writing skills. We've been talking about writing skills. And you know the skills of language are 4. Everybody knows that the skills are 4: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each one of these has 4 criteria also. Each one of these has 4 criteria. For example, listening has 4 criteria. Speaking has 4 criteria. Reading has also 4 criteria. And writing, it's our main focus of attention today, has also main criteria. So a simple question has to be asked right now. What is punctuation and what is writing? Who can answer this question? Huh? Who can answer this question? What is writing? Writing is the way.
Writing is the way to show.
Marvelous. The way to show.
To show your ideas.
That's fantastic. That's marvelous. Lovely.
What you want to say.
Yes. You convey your message.
Yes.
To the reader. You convey your message to the reader. When you convey your message to the reader, drawing on writing,
Yeah.
that might also be clear. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So let us ventilate the class. You seem to have a kind of ventilation for the class. The normal way of our dealing in each and every class, we ventilate the class by mentioning a story so that the motivation has to be there. I want you to be motivated, to be enthusiastic. So listen to this story so that we can jump into our topic. Our story is about 2 students, 2 English students. They always go for vacation to tour around London. They were called Jack and Henry. When the school closes for the holidays, they each go towards the train station because they like traveling by train. They don't like traveling by bus. They like traveling by trains. So one vacation, they chose each a ticket. They bought a ticket from the ticket station, and they got into the train. While Henry was putting his luggage into the train, his friend wanted to play a trick, a practical joke on him. He wanted to play a trick on him. So when his ticket fell off his pocket, he saw it and put it into his pocket. Henry took his friend's ticket and put it into his pocket without saying a word about it to his friend. And he wanted to play a trick on him. So when they got into the train, the ticket collector came into the room. They came into the chamber looking for people's tickets. When the ticket collector came nearer, Henry gave him 2 tickets. He gave him 2 tickets. He was amazed. Oh, this is punctuation. Oh, why you give me 2 tickets? He said, 2 tickets I gave you because we are 2 people. Because my friend, when he saw you, he hid. My friend hid. You know, my friend hid into the train, hid under the seat of the train. So that's why I gave you 2 tickets. One belongs to me, and the other belongs to my friend who likes traveling under the seat of the train. So in that way, the joke has been practical, and the joke has been innocent on his friend. This is the story for beginning. What I want you to get ready about now is prepare yourself to the next step. The next step is here. The next step, we would like to show a lot of things about, about punctuation. The first one, as highlighted on the monitor here, this is Unit 4. We had 3 previous units on the book. The first one dealt with writing at a letter level. The second one dealt with writing at a word level, and the third one dealt with writing at a sentence level. And now we are going to have punctuation, because after punctuation we will also be highlighting writing at a paragraph level, and that will be the last of book 1. So that will be the final unit in book 1. But this is the 4th one. Now let us go ahead. This is very important, dear students. As an introduction, you have to focus on what's written on the monitor here, so that I can read something to you quickly. This unit deals with a very important aspect of writing. What is the important aspect of writing? The aspect of writing is the punctuation, as I told you, so we don't have to stop here. The punctuation is very important with regard to your speech when you speak to people, and with regard to your writing, because people judge you by the way you speak. Is that right? Yes. People judge you by the way you speak. Also, people judge you by the way you write. When you write neatly, when you write correctly, people will also admire you. And they will say, oh, we would like to have this writing, and we would like to invite this person so that we can talk to him. So let us go ahead a little bit and have something else. Something else regarding the steps of the punctuation. The first one, we have the full stop. Full stop, when you write, this means that your writing has finished, has come to an end. And when you speak, this means that your idea is fully understood. When you speak, you stop. For example, I have given you the right word for the right sentence. Full stop. This full stop shows me when you speak, this shows me that what idea you want to convey has finished, is over. So let us have another point. The question mark, which the name suggests. You ask a question. For example, What's your name? Everybody asks this question. What's your name? So let's have the third one, the exclamation mark. To exclaim means to ask in an amazement. To ask in an amazement. For example, oh, the train is moving and I have to put my luggage inside. This is exclamation, you know. So let us have the comma. Comma with double M is different. Be careful, dear students. Comma with double M is different from comma with one M. Comma with one M means you fall down before you do anything, and they will carry you to the doctor. The doctor will come to treat you, diabetic coma. You see? But comma with two M's means your speech has not finished. This is in the speech, when you speak. Your speech has not finished. When your speech has not finished, you make a comma when speaking. But when you write, it is very obvious. It is very clear. When you write, it is very clear. You put a comma, and then you proceed. Means the idea has not been fulfilled yet, has not been carried out yet. You see? So let us move ahead and have something else. The colon. The colon means you are going to give me a new information, a new huge amount of information. You put semicolon, you put colon, you have the colon, and then I expect after your colon that you are going to detail, you know, details. You are going to go into details. For example, I went to the sheep market last year and I bought a sheep, a lamb, I bought 2 goats, and the last one, and a cuckold. See? You put "and" at the end. For example, I bought a sheep, a male sheep, comma, and I bought also a cuckold, comma, and a she-goat. And you put it at the end. This means that you are going to go into details. But when you put a colon, the information has not been completed yet. The information has not finished yet. So let us move on to have something here, the semicolon. Semicolon is like colon, but the semicolon is just a little stop when you speak. You just stop for a while, and then you proceed. This is when you speak. But when you write, it also denotes that the information which you gave me, the information which you have written down, has not been finished yet. You are going to proceed. So let us have the whole idea in this introduction. The whole idea is these marks, punctuation marks, these marks are used by writers. Why? Because in order to express what they mean in a clear way, just like you said, a speaker does this by using his or her voice in different ways. For example, let us have, when the voice goes down, this is, we call it in English, falling intonation. Falling intonation. This is falling intonation. I have been doing 2 jobs, but don't worry. I have been doing 2 jobs here, but I have to go on. When the voice goes down at the end of an utterance, it means that the speaker has finished expressing a full idea, as we said. This is similar to the full stop in writing. As I told you, this is similar. Again, this point is very important. From the viewpoint for many students, they think that writing has to do, they think that punctuation has only to do with writing. See here, when the voice goes down, this is falling intonation. At the end of an utterance, utterance means speech, at the end of your speech, it means that the speaker has finished expressing a full idea. This is similar, the same as the full stop in writing. So let us have another point. Point number 2. When the voice goes up, that's another story. When the voice goes up at the end of an utterance, at the end of your speech, it means that the speaker is asking for information. This is similar to the question mark. the question mark in writing, but when your voice goes up, you are asking a question. For example, where did you come from? Where do they come from? Your voice goes up. You ask a question. Just like putting a question mark when you write, you know? So let us have point number 4. The other point is number 3, sorry. When the voice starts from a high level, when your voice starts from a high level to low level, in the opposite direction, from high level to low level, with a louder jump somewhere in the middle, when you speak, it means that the speaker is expressing a strong feeling. Is expressing a strong feeling. This is similar to the exclamation mark. Exclamation. You just exclaim. And the second point is number 4, which is also when the speaker makes a short pause. Pause means stop. When the speaker makes a short pause in the middle of his speech or her speech, in the middle of an utterance, it means that he or she is taking their breath. They take their breath inside, inhalation and exhalation. You take breath inside, this is inhalation. And exhalation, you just throw breath, you throw air out of your lungs. That's exhalation. He or she might be taking their breath halfway through, in the middle. Halfway through means in the middle. The utterance before they continue. This is similar to the comma. The comma with double M. Don't think that it means the comma with one M. Because if it is a comma with one M, you don't have to speak at all. You just be carried to hospital. That's a comma. So when the speaker makes a short pause in the middle of an utterance, it means that he or she is taking their breath halfway through, in the middle, you know? The utterance through the speech before they continue, this is similar to the comma. So let us have a next point, which is number 5, I think. As far as I know, yes, number 5. When the speaker makes a longer pause, which is a longer one, perhaps with a rising intonation and the falling intonation. We have 2 kinds of intonation in English. Rising intonation when you ask a question, falling intonation when you answer the question. This is falling intonation. You see, with perhaps with a rising intonation, it means that he or she again is going to give a list of items, a list of things. You see, this is similar to the colon. This means that your speech has not finished yet. Your writing has not finished yet. You are going to give me a huge amount of information afterwards. So let us have the next point. The next point is about, it's number 6. When the speaker makes a medium pause, medium means in the middle. Not high and not low, medium. You see, just like the medium which I move now. I'm very restricted. It means that he or she has provided a full idea, complete information. But it is closely connected with the upcoming one. The upcoming idea, the next one. This is similar to the semicolon. You got the idea? You got the difference in meaning between colon and semicolon? This is just like one who went to the pilgrimage, became a pilgrim. They used to call him as some quality. And someone who has not been to pilgrimage yet, and also people of his age call him just the same. They don't make any respect for him because they are friends. You see, this is very important again. Let me highlight it. When the speaker makes a medium pause in the middle, it means that he or she has provided a full idea. But it is closely connected with the upcoming one, with the upcoming idea. This is similar to the semicolon. And let us move on to punctuation. This is summing up. This is summary. The summary of what we have been saying is punctuation marks in writing do the same function of pauses and intonation in speech. This is very important point. This is a very important point. Please, you don't have to sleep. Wake up. Wake him up. You don't have to sleep. Wake up. You see, punctuation marks in writing do the same function of pauses and intonation in speech. How? If we can imagine someone is speaking with a flat voice just like a robot, flat voice. A robot, you know? Just like a robot. Just like a robot. With no changes in the voice, then we can imagine how written text would be looking like without punctuation marks. See the following text. Before we see the text, have you understood this point? Have you got this point understood? You see, punctuation marks in writing do the same function like the pauses and intonation in speech when you speak. So that's why I told you, punctuation does not limit itself to writing, but punctuation has to appear in speaking also. So we would stop here and ask you only one question. Have you had any idea before our lecture today? Have you had any idea that punctuation is related to speech? Huh? Yes?
No, my idea only in writing.
See what I said? Yes, you are right. Thank you very much. A lot of people, not only you, a lot of people, a lot of scholars, a lot of learners think that punctuation has only to do with writing. It doesn't have to do with speech. But from now on, I want you to have this idea, to bear it in mind. Take this idea in mind. Punctuation is not only limited to writing. It is spreads and prevails in speech also, in your speech. When you speak, you embrace people. You use punctuation, but you don't feel it. It is unperceivable. It is unperceivable. So let us have another point here. We're going to hurry up a little bit. A paragraph has 3 principal parts. This is very important. These parts are the topic sentence. This is number 1. The topic sentence, which is the editorial. You just begin with it, the editorial sentence. The first one usually is the topic sentence, and we have the body sentence and the concluding sentence. Just like writing a composition, you have an introduction, you have subject matter, body, and you have conclusion. You just finish your topic with the conclusion. So this is the same. Again, a paragraph has 3 principal. Principal means main, major. Major parts. These 3 parts are the topic sentence, the body sentence, and the concluding sentence. The first one usually comes at the beginning, as we said. The second one comes in the middle. That's a body. That's the body of the composition, the subject matter. And the last one is the concluding paragraph, by which you end. For example, let us have another look at this one here. Now go to the end of this unit to see the same text with punctuation, as we said. Can you see, dear student, can you see the difference when you follow the book? Because you are going to associate the book with what's on the media. You associate the book. You read the book, because a lot of students, when they start writing, when they start reading, they get bored, they get monotonous. So they sleep and they leave. But when there is a kind of vivid media, you see and you watch and you listen at the same time. When you are doing these functions together, you might not be able to sleep. You might not be able to sleep. But you sleep when you have only one boring subject. But this is not boring. English is not boring at all, by the way. English is not boring. So now go to the end of this unit in the book. I mean, to see the same text with punctuation. Can you see the difference? Yes, the difference is clear. In this unit, we will also discuss how punctuation is used and how it makes written text understandable. You can perceive them. You can understand them. So let us pass all these. How to use the full stop? How can we use the full stop? We go very quickly in a fraction of a second because we have mentioned this before, haven't we? We have mentioned this before. How to use the full stop when you write? The normal mark for ending a sentence. How to use it? When your speech is finished, when your writing is finished. So let us go ahead a little bit also. How to use the question mark? The answer is which comes at the end of a question. Because when you ask a question, your voice goes up, and this is a rising intonation. Again, you are asking a question, and you must put a question mark. By the way, some students, when they put a question in writing, they don't make the question mark. They forget it. So that's too bad. That's too bad. Please, dear students, try to master all of these functions. Because we have, in our bodies, we have 5 functions. And some people have the 6th function also. We have 5 functions. The function of the eye is to see. The function of the nose is to smell. The function of the tongue is to taste. The function of the hand is to touch. But some people have more than 5 functions. And those people will be genius people. Let's forget about them for the time being. Okay. So, how to use the comma? The answer is to separate clauses or items in a series. You separate them. You just, for example, I went to the market and bought okra, comma, cucumber, comma, and some tomatoes and potatoes. You see? Yes. Okay. Here, how to use the colon, which prepares the reader to expect a list. When you use the colon, you have to prepare your reader for a list, an answer, or an explanation. You see? So, objectives of the unit, we will pass. Use the full stop correctly to indicate that the sentence is complete. This is exercise. But it is not done on air transmission. It is done inside your book when you have the book. Let us have this. Again, use the exclamation mark appropriately, suitably, to express admiration, surprise, or amazement, etc., etc. So, if you express admiration, you say, "Oh, good." If you express surprise, you say, "Oh, that's too bad." If you express amazement, you may say, "Ah, oh." These are the punctuation marks. So, dear students, I hope you have understood what I have said. Use commas to separate clauses or items in a series. So we might be able to end this version here and stop for your question. Do you want in a fraction of a second? Do you have any question to ask? Any question? Overall question. With what only a fraction of a second. Yes, please. It's only you who ask questions, who answer questions. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. Huh?
What is the difference between punctuation and speech marks?
Excellent. Fantastic. This is a very nice question. A very good question. Also, the word nice in English has lost its character. They don't say it much. It has lost its character. A nice day, a nice lady, a nice man, a nice woman. So this is a very nice question from the viewpoint of asking. You see, the difference lies in what we have said. The difference between the punctuation and the speech marks. The speech marks appear when you speak. The speech mark, you put marks in your mouth, as we said, and you speak. You just stop and you make a little stop. You make a full stop. This is when you speak. So it has to do with the speech, but punctuation has to do with writing. I hope I have answered your question. Do you have any other question? Only 1 second left. Only 1 second left. Any question? Yes, please. Yes.
Dr. Fatah Al-Alim.
Yes, please.
What are the main types of sentences?
Marvelous. That's a very nice question from the viewpoint of this punctuation also. You see, the difference lies in we have two main types. We have complex sentences, which have 2 finite verbs and 2 clauses, together, and we have simple sentences, and we have complex sentences. A compound sentence, a complex sentence, and a simple sentence. Actually, there are three, but the main ones are complex and compound sentences. Any other question? Any other question? So, with this, we conclude for now, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much for enjoying this class.